It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning. This is City Beat. I'm Matthew Higgs, and joining me in studio is Mayor Fenske. Thanks for coming in once again.
Good morning.
If you have a question you'd like to ask the mayor, give us a call at 677-8181. There was a city council meeting this week, and there was some theatrics, but there was also some stuff worth mentioning during the meeting. Probably the biggest thing that was unveiled was the 2015 audited financial presentation. Were there any highlights on the report that are worth mentioning here?
Well, I think Jenny Krentz, our CFO, covered the audited statement very well. It is online at thompson.ca under the finance department's section, so you can go online and take a look at it there, or you can drop down to City Hall and pick up a copy of the audit statement at the front desk. We are, through the Municipal Act, required to submit our financial audited statements, and so we're following through with the requirements and have forwarded on to the province of Manitoba. And so basically, again, a reminder, it's on thompson.ca if you want to look it up and have a glance at it and ask questions from there.
And this was the financial report that was a little bit delayed, right?
Yes, we had to delay because of the transfer of the landfill site from the province of Manitoba, from the LGD province of Manitoba to the city of Thompson. Their financials were delayed, so that delayed our financials. So we got an extension. Normally we would have to submit by May 15th, and so because we had that transaction earlier this year, we were allowed an extension.
The handy van was in great discussion as well. The city has sent an application hoping for a grant. How long do you think this process will take?
I would think within the next couple of weeks we'll hear an announcement one way or the other of whether we're receiving the grant monies or not. We're trying to reduce the costs to the taxpayers from 100% to 25%. If we're successful, that would be the case. If not, then we will go through the proper procedures to draw from reserves to get the shortfall and purchase the handy van.
Is there a working handy van at the moment?
I'm not aware that it is. I believe Miss Templeton, who's the executive director of the Juniper Center, advised that it was in mechanical repair now, so I'm not sure if it's operating at this point.
So anyone that's using it, how do they get to where they need to go?
Taxis, I believe, are the option at this point.
Okay. There are also a few meetings which will be taking place that you guys discussed about at the council meeting. One of them will be hosted here in Thompson, the AMM Cities Caucus Fall Meeting. What goes on during that? Basically,
this is the meeting of the mayors and CEOs of the cities in Manitoba, all of the communities that are designated cities. So you're talking about Winnipeg, Brandon, Thompson, Selkirk, Steinbach, Portage, Winkler, Morden, the Paw, Flin Flon, and I believe there's a couple others. And so this meeting moves around the province, and so we're happy to host the mayors and CEOs from various cities, and we'll be discussing common areas, common discussions. We'll obviously be talking about the economic impact of announcements being made in northern Manitoba recently, and an overall thought process in regards to how we can lobby the provincial government and the federal government on behalf of cities in Manitoba.
Is there a benefit to hosting it?
Absolutely. Economical benefit for sure, in that people from out of town come into our community and spend money. And secondly, it's more exposure from other communities to our community. So a lot of people have never been up north, never been to Thompson before, so they're quite impressed once they get here, and it's another advocate for what we have in the north when they return to their home communities down south.
Yeah, and there's going to be a tour during this time too.
Yeah,
right?
We've got a couple tours. We'll do the UCN TRCC tour for sure. We'll do a plant site tour at Valet, not inside the fences, just out to the open pit area, and then we'll take them out to the jet engine test site as well.
In Winnipeg on September 20th and 21st, there will be a 2016 Canadian Inland Ports Conference. You're sending one of your councillors there, am I correct?
Yes, we are. Councillor Smoke will be attending on behalf of Thompson.
And what's going to be discussed at that conference, do you think?
Well, basically, it's transportation in regards to the inland ports and the potential. What are the potentials for Manitoba? Where is the growth area for northern Manitoba? And seeing what the opportunities are to expand transportation of goods and services in northern Manitoba.
Is this like an annual conference?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay. And the Northern Mayor's meeting was also taking place in the on Monday, and obviously the Port of Churchill and Toco will be discussed. Anything else on the agenda?
No, that's basically it, is discussion in regards to northern economic development, specifically to the areas that have been affected recently by announcements.
And I guess big news coming down today also that the town was offering massive tax breaks to Toco Industries, and they were not interested in the offer. And my question to you is, would Thompson ever consider doing that to a big business that's starting to leave? I guess Valley would be the best one, but we already know they're leaving in 2018. But would Thompson ever consider using a tax break to help a business out to stay in the city?
Okay, just a couple things. Well, Valley isn't leaving in 2018.
Right.
The operation is going from a fully integrated mine operation to a mine mill operation. So the smelter and refinery is closing, and so Valley will continue mining operation. In regards to tax incentives, I just left a development review committee meeting where we are trying to develop tax incentives for business enhancement and growth to offset any economic downturn, obviously the one coming in 2018, to promote business development and sustainability in our community. So it is under consideration. It's at the development review committee at this point. Once there's a final document and it goes through the finance committee as well, it'll come to council and to the general public as far as what we were able to do.
And those will probably help the businesses stay if that's the case, right?
Absolutely. It's no different than any other community that is trying to entice businesses to their community. Other communities have done things with land pricing. They've done things with tax incentives. So it's not new. It's just something different for Thompson.
One of the councillors went to the Travel Manitoba Northern Tourism Summit on Tuesday. What was discussed and what came out of it, do you think?
I think generally I haven't seen a report yet. Councillor Collada will provide a report at the next council meeting. But in general terms, it was a follow-up on the announcement by the province of Manitoba to increase funding for tourism and a small grant program as well. And so having it at Baker's Lake, just outside of Flin Flon, it was an opportunity to see tourism opportunities there. But in general, to talk about and discuss from the northern perspective what the opportunities to grow tourism in northern Manitoba was all about. So it was good discussions, some good people at the table. So I'm looking forward to the report from Councillor Collada.
Us as well. A caller called in earlier. There was a crosswalk in front of the Shell, and apparently it's a little dangerous. And there's a picture right here I'm showing you, and it's kind of, you don't really see it that much. Any plans to put up lights or crosswalk lights up there?
This is the crosswalk at Oak and Thompson Drive, across from the Shell station. And so it is a high traffic area because of Thompson Drive. We have had traffic counts in the past for that area, and it hasn't warranted a lit crosswalk. There is painted lines for a crosswalk, but we could look at what we've done at the north end of Cree Road and Thompson Drive across from the library. Is we put in solar panels and a single light, single button system that's much cheaper than the overhead pedestrian crossing. Those run around $150,000. That would be the one that you see in front of the high school or in front of the post office. So the other opportunity that we've looked at in front of the library at Cree Road and Thompson Drive is a much more economical one, and certainly we could do a traffic count and look if that may be the option to put in additional lights there to provide more safety.
What requires lights to go up? Like, is there a count that needs to?
Yeah, basically they do a traffic count and traffic flow and the pedestrian counts to see if there's enough that warrants that. And I don't know what the base numbers are that trigger that, but certainly we can conduct that study.
Last weekend, did you go to the mud bog races?
I didn't. I was out of town, but I heard lots about it, and it was a great event. I want to thank Dennis Foley, Councillor Dennis Foley, who was a volunteer as well and heavily involved in that. I understand there was only one injury and slight in that case. Good location, weather provided. I believe there was 400 or 500 people out there. All the stories I heard that everybody had a great time and it was safe, and look forward to the next one.
Yeah, and they also bought the track, which is about 15 minutes outside of the city, as they're hoping to revitalize the old motocross track once again. Do you think that'll bring extra events to the city, or maybe fabricate a few new ones?
I think both. I think we have and have dealt with for a number of years the issue of quads and off-road bikes in and around our community. This will provide a facility for people to travel to and do the riding that they want to do. And so I'm encouraging to see the enhancement of this facility and look forward to growth of that facility, and which will bring other events, which is economic spin-offs to our community, but also adds to the quality of life in Thompson as far as those that have off-road vehicles.
And starting next week, it actually starts at City Hall on Tuesday. The Thompson Pride of 55 will be raising the rainbow flag at City Hall on Monday, and with the Pride March on the Saturday. Will you be attending any of these events during the week? And what do you think of the Pride Marches that have been taking place all over, I guess, the province, the country, everywhere?
Well, I fully support the Pride Marches and the raising the flags. I was part of the flag raising last year. I believe, I'm not sure if I have a conflict on the date. I'll have to check the schedule because I was going to attend the flag raising, but I believe Deputy Mayor Valentino was attending on my behalf. But fully support the initiative in our community and all the volunteers that work behind the scenes to make this happen. So yeah, fully support the one in Thompson, all the ones in Manitoba, and all the ones across Canada.
Final question. Did you watch the football game last week? I didn't watch it at all. I didn't know what happened.
I knew this question was coming up because we had the discussion last week in regards to certain people in this room are Bomber fans, and I'm a Rider fan. So I will say that we were close. So we had it in our grasp, and unfortunately our kicker didn't do what the Bombers kicker needed to do. And so I will humbly succumb to the loss.
Well, I'm just wearing this because it's a Bomber jersey, by the way. Yeah. I'm just wearing this because it's laundry day, right?
It's Bomber Day in Thompson.
I have no clothes. Got to wear this,
of course,
right?
It's Bomber Day in Thompson.
Exactly. And the Banjo Bowl is happening this weekend. Who's going to win this one?
Riders?
Nah, I think you're wrong. Come on.
We'll see what sweater I wear next week.
Exactly. I'll be wearing this again if that's the case. But thanks for coming in once again. That's it for City Beat. Make sure to join us every Thursday at 11:30 to find out what's happening around the city and City Hall. For 1029 CHTM, I'm Matthew Higgs.
City